this game and how Arkansas State, they better be ready. The fear that has existed about Razorback football over the summer that we tried to tell you in real time, like, don't believe it. Anything can happen in a football game, but there's no reason to believe Arkansas State's going to beat Arkansas. The odds makers have to set it at over 3 touchdowns to make it even bettable. But still going into the game, oh my gosh. I mean, they kick the ball off, and it's like one team's 100 times better than the other one.
The Razorbacks were bored by the second quarter. I mean, they were. They were bored by the second quarter.
I just want apologies from these people. I just want to hear today, like, why were you what was making you think that?
There were a lot of people, and it was this way in Little Rock. It was this way, obviously, up here for weeks before we left. When they spoke about
when you go to Oakland. That was a great weekend.
It was. It was good.
What a great weekend. In all seriousness, awesome experience.
I see it goes to Fayetteville games.
Yeah, well, it is a matter of being able, but for a lot of people it is.
You're
you
right.
Can't,
Life goes on.
You can't. You got to do. And that goes for the games in Fayetteville for some people too.
That's right.
But it was great to see the crowd. It looked great on television. By the way, I meant to tell you when we had our little chat in the office before we made our way over here, but we were too busy, talking about the things that are actually happening.
Yeah.
I've got to take Lennox to school this morning.
Oh.
So you'll be with Bart and Edward for the remaining hour of the show, the 8 o'clock hour.
All right.
The 8 o'clock hour.
I got you.
I can give reports. I can call in. I can do traffic reports. I can tell you how much the Starbucks.
Well,
order
if there's
was,
something worthy of a report, if there's something worthy.
But I'm going to tell you, it will be enjoyable for me because I will get to listen. Like I texted you guys the last time, it's the best sports talk hour I've heard in a long time. When I'm not in here and I'm driving around listening to you, it's fabulous.
How about I go home, have some coffee?
That's fine.
Listen to the show till 8, then I'll be back.
You just have to.
Can
with him.
That's right.
Oh, we got a 377-6963. Listen, how about just your reaction to the weekend?
Little Reaction Monday. How about
Reaction Monday. Well, what did you think of the Arkansas State-Arkansas game? Well, what did it leave you think? You had all those, whatever their thoughts were going into the game. What did you think coming out? Baylor beat SMU. Edwards got a badge of pride today like I haven't seen. Having spent, the last year or so.
I really don't care that
Dave
much.
Aranda.
Well,
Dave Aranda, Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year.
I was just giving Bart a hard time about the loss.
That's fair. That's fair. But
because
I don't know.
on Friday he said that Baylor sucks, was really
Just
hardcore
like that.
about it.
Yeah.
So,
Just
Said it
like
with
that.
emphasis.
Yeah.
So,
Stuck in Edwards.
but the result of the
still think
game
they
has
do.
no impact on my life whatsoever.
So were you thinking about Bart as the game ended and Baylor
I
was
wasn't watching
winning?
it, but I got an ESPN notification that said
Did you
they came
immediately
back.
think of Bart?
Yes, I did. The loss. I felt bad for our listening audience.
Yeah.
How about South Florida going to Gainesville?
Bart called that one. Bart called
And
that one. They
beating the
didn't
Gators.
just cover, they won.
I mean, this poor Billy Napier, man.
It's over.
Oh,
There's no coming back now.
he just can't.
There's just no coming back.
Listen, Florida is such a weird job. All right, we got to take it. We got a lot to get into.
Yeah,
It is Reaction Monday. Bart's got a Bengals hat on, and
Bengals.
we're here to talk about a Bengals Chuck and Bo show. You're right, Chuck. You're right. You're right.
You're not wrong, Chuck.
About because
That's
we don't
all I
want.
wanted to hear. That's really all I wanted to hear.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always
back in the old days would come in wearing a pink shirt, and Chuck would give him a look, and then Clay would quickly give him a look back to establish dominance, and it's kind of like that type of moment.
Yeah.
But and I enjoyed hearing Matt and Jones talk about the games in Little Rock, and then hearing Grant Garrett. Like I said, he is truly a mountain in the world of construction, and in more ways than one. I swear, him yelling at his guys about putting hard hats on, and he would go. I don't know if I should really. It's old news now, but he used to go back and forth with Mike Lassiter too. So it was good hearing him, and I went perfect gambling this weekend too. So it was
nice.
it's just I had a 14-team money line parlay that hit, an 11-team money line parlay that hit, and then my big one of the weekend was a 7-team money line parlay that included Arkansas, which normally I don't do. But since this was a money line, then there's no it's just a straight up winner type thing. So I don't know. There's really not much more to say than that. But it was. I'm telling you, I don't know what will ever happen to that stadium, but those panels on the front of the stadium, you guys probably don't see them because you come in probably from the other side. But those panels on the front of the stadium, they should be preserved for all time. That's one of the things I loved about that stadium is those 3 panels with the guys with leather helmets out there, like, you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I actually parked on that side Saturday, and I thought it looked really good.
All right. Well, guys, have a good day.
Bart's working on an issue down the hall. When I tell him that you hit a 14-team, 11-team, and 17-team parlay,
Money
you hit
line.
3 of those. He's
17.
17.
You want me? I can screenshot them and set them in.
Yeah, text him into Bart
What?
so he can see how a winner lives.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's not going to believe it.
Okay.
That's you might have to start doing the locks around here.
Arthur's locks.
Well, I tell you what, it's my fear of losing is stronger than my desire to win. So, I mean, my nephews all call me Mr. Minus 2,000, and I can wear it, and I do a lot of research because there's always, there's some things that even though it's like USF in Florida, I don't care if it said minus 18. I'm not a believer in DJ Lagway and all that. You have to avoid the Kool-Aid. But, I will do that as soon as I get off the phone, fellas.
Hey, great to hear from you. Glad the weekend went well. Stay in the good fight.
Yeah.
Stay in the good fight.
Stay on the good side.
Thanks, fellas.
All right.
Thanks,
bye.
Arthur.
Thank you,
Bye.
Arthur. Appreciate you. Always good to hear from you.
I know.
He's
That's how we know he's doing okay.
He's a regular. Edward, where are we going next? You want to go
Gentle
to
Ben?
is it- is
Gentle
he-
Ben.
Gentle
line.
Ben's on 4.
Gentle Ben.
Line 4.
4 rang again. So let's
Ben,
see.
how are you?
Are you there?
Hey, yes, sir. I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can, loud and clear, never better.
Very loud.
All right. I'll try not to call the hogs and blow your ears out or anything.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
But anyway, I was really glad to see us, win the game the way we did, and and all that. And I'm glad we had some things that weren't perfect, so we can, the players and all that know that they got to, like Frank Broyles used to say, boys, we got to get better and better every day.
Hang on, Ben. I got to stop you. You were one of the scared ones last week. You were.
Yes, sir.
You were one of the scared
Yes,
ones
sir.
last week. What's your take on all that now?
Okay, I'm always I can't think of the right word.
No, just what are your thoughts? We don't have to go into how you're wired.
I'm sorry.
We don't.
I'm sorry. I know.
Just what are your thoughts?
Oh, I wouldn't do that for nothing.
After
I wouldn't do that
watching
for nothing.
the
No.
game.
But I was just glad that as the game went on, we got more things more in hand, and I'm glad that that we was able to let our second string get in there, and then we just kind of dominated after a while.
We dominated
That's
right
kinda
off the bat.
Okay, well, good. All right, then. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm always, I'm just always wanting to, don't keep the gas, keep it going until you're like Jimmy Johnson used to do at Miami Hurricanes. They just don't show no mercy until the gun goes off. Of course, the gun don't go off at the end of the game anymore. But I'm just saying, let's just keep the pedal down until we get till the game is over. And so That's just the way I am.
Now, what were you
That's just the way I'm
disappointed in, Ben?
geared.
What were you disappointed in?
Well, the 2 interceptions, you know, but I'm kind of glad it happened because that means we got something to work on and just some other things, you know. But I'm glad those other things are there because we might go into. I believe everybody's going to be confident players and coaches and fans and everything that we can beat Ole Miss. But I don't want us to do so good that we go over there, overconfident and get beat because of that. So I just kind of like the way things went. And then I know I'm always excited about things that other people aren't, but I'm glad that the 4 teams that were and I guess out of 16 teams, the bottom 4 all did real good. I'm really glad that Mississippi State beat number 12.
I am
too. Arizona State and all those other things. You know, the fact that Kentucky played Ole Miss close, and that makes me feel a lot better about the Ole Miss game. And then Vanderbilt beating Virginia Tech, even though they're not the Virginia Tech of old, and just all. I may be leaving one out, but anyway, all 4 of them. 3 of them won, and 4, and so I was kind of happy about that.
Okay.
And most all the SEC teams won, so that's kind of how I felt about it.
All right.
Yes, man. Yep.
Good to hear from you. You feel good about the Ole Miss game before we let you go?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right,
Sure
good.
do.
Good. There you go.
Fear's gone.
The fear's gone. By the way,
Razorback fans, even SEC people, I think sometimes, when your team's not doing well and people talk about how tough the league is, nobody wants to hear that. But, guys, we saw another example Saturday that there's just such a huge difference in Power 4 and non-Power 4. I know there are exceptions. I know there's a team or two out there every year like South Florida who will catch everyone's fancy. But 9 times out of 10, the bigger, stronger, faster team wins in football. And the SEC's, I mean, it's just, again, we get desensitized to how good it is.
Here's Pitman on the game.
All right.
What an atmosphere over here. Very appreciative of our fans. It felt like a home game. And that started with the hog walk, and we knew the significance of this game to the state of our great state, Arkansas. We knew the significance. 130 years of playing, and we've decided, now that we're going to play the game. We certainly had to be ready for the game, and we felt like we were. We got some things we've got to fix, but we got a lot of things that we're doing really good.
Here's what he thinks after 2 games.
I like the guys on the team. I mean, they're very coachable. They're tough. I like the guys on the team. Not just because we've won. I mean, we're supposed to. But you don't always win the ones you're supposed to, but we have. I think we're pretty explosive on offense. Our run defense has been pretty good the first 2 weeks, but it depends on who you're playing. I like our team. I like how we play, how hard we play. We're a pretty good tackling team, and we're able to play a little bit more man coverage than we have in the past. And I think that'll help us, and that'll help us go after the quarterback. But I really like this team. I like my coaches. Been a lot of fun. But, you like a lot of things when you're 2-0, and if he's 0-2, you'd hate everything,
Everything he said there, how can you disagree with a word that he said there? I mean, it's something for everybody, even those of you who aren't convinced yet. I mean, he said, it has to do with who you're playing sometimes, and it does. And it'll be a lot tougher this week, and they know that.
Yeah. You mentioned the SEC. I mean, they're going to do that. Arkansas is going to step up into that, too, now.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
And does it take them a second to adjust? I mean, one thing about Ole Miss is they've gone and played a conference game on the road. That experience going into this game.
It's the speed factor, too. Nothing's been close to what Ole Miss is going to have in terms of speed that Arkansas has seen so far.
Ole Miss had to fight for everything.
They
to win
did.
at Kentucky. Having lost to Kentucky at home last year, I think we all thought Ole Miss was going to go in there and roll. But, Mark Stoops' teams, man, they're tough. They're physical. They play hard. They play pretty sound most of the time.
I'm going to be interested to see how both teams are physically as we move through the week. Arkansas got beaten up a little bit Saturday, and I suspect that Ole Miss did too. I've not gone back and watched the game yet, but you're right. Kentucky's one of those teams that they don't always beat you on the scoreboard, but they will beat you up physically, and you usually lose a guy or two here and there. I think, did Ole Miss's quarterback have some kind of – did he go out for a little while
Both
Saturday?
quarterbacks in that game left at different points.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be interested to see this week, physically, how guys recover and where they are by the time we get to Saturday night.
Some people were worried about Arkansas's rushing going into this game. And they look pretty good. They look, I think they're better at pass pro, but they look pretty good running the ball, too, on Saturday.
Well, yes, and they did, and they're going to have to continue to do that. And I mean, look, everything they have done offensively for 2 weeks has worked. I know there were a couple of picks Saturday, but I'll take 10 touchdowns and 2 interceptions after 2 games. I will. I'll take it 10 times out of 10. And, I think offensively they've done everything they wanted to do, but they're going to get a lot more resistance this week. And, again, they know that. And just as they were ready for this game but this past Saturday, they'll be ready to play Saturday against Ole Miss. I don't know if they'll win, but the idea that, they won't be ready to play, they'll be ready.
By the way, 255 plus 255 on the money line. If you want, if you want an early value, Arkansas is a 9-point underdog going to Oxford.
A lot of points.
Boy, it's amazing.
63 is the total.
A lot of points.
You don't think they'll get to 63?
Oh no, I think they'll have to get to 63.
I think they'll blow by. I think the two teams together will blow by 63. I think 63 will be left in the dust.
Look, the key is going to be, and this was the case last year. This is going to be the key. Will Arkansas take care of the football? Because will Ole Miss take care of the football?
Right,
exactly. Look, a couple of picks aren't gonna get you beat against Arkansas State. I mean, that was just like anybody who thought that game was going to be close or going to be like Arkansas State had a chance to win. You're crazy. They
were just feeding the negative narrative.
Right. The difference in class is very apparent from the opening kickoff. But those were a couple of bad interceptions that Talon threw. And
You're right.
we saw that last year at times. There haven't been the ball security issues that ran rampant across the team last year, which is good. But you go to Ole Miss, you're gonna have to take care of the ball because those picks won't get you beat against Arkansas State by any means, but they might get you beat against Ole Miss.
Oh yeah.
much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more, they carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
I don't need Chat GTP. I've got Chuck GTP.
Amen.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Can you imagine a round of golf lasting almost 6 hours?
What would you do?
I'd leave. I'd walk off.
Like on 13, you'd be like, this has been a 4-hour round.
How about the fifth hour? Well, you know, if the company was good, maybe 4.5. 4.5's a long time to spend with anybody. Let's just be honest. 4.5 hours is a long time to spend with anybody.
There it is.
Comes down
there it is.
That's what
we
it
just
comes
learned
down.
a lot about Chuck right there.
Yeah, that's why this show is only 3 hours.
Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Bart is in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. I mean, it was a weekend
Reporting
of
for duty.
things to react to. Kenny Dillingham leaves Starkville with a loss. The up-and-coming, ever-popular young coach in college football that we all enjoy, who took Arizona State to the playoff last year, went into Cowbell City, Stark Vegas, and left with a loss.
It was a bad day. I mean, it was a really, really bad day on offense. And it all stems from passion we play with. Is it okay to not make a play? And if you accept it, then you accept it. That's who you're going to be. Don't be mad going 5-7. It's okay. Don't be mad going 6-6. Don't be mad going 3-9, because somebody has to go those records. There's going to be tons of teams who do it. Why not us?
That was him back in the summer practice. What did he say after the game? Do we have that? I want to hear what Kenny had to say after that game. Bart, what else happened this weekend? Arkansas won. By the way,
Arkansas
if you were,
won,
if you were avoiding, if you had your eyes covered because you thought, oh my, they're going to lose to Arkansas State.
They're not going to be ready. They're not going to be ready. They're not going to take it seriously. They're not going to match that effort.
We all said it. They had to match that effort.
Yeah, it's going to be a Super Bowl for them.
Arkansas 56, A-State. The Red Wolves. Wolves
Not
up.
that many.
14.
Well, look, hey, it went better for Arkansas State than it did for Oklahoma State. My goodness.
He's not going to make it out of the year, is he?
69-3 loss at Oregon. I'm surprised he made it to today.
He's got a couple more weeks. And that's probably
that's that.
And I
saw a stat where 2 of Oklahoma State's worst ever power conference losses have come in their last 5 games. Like if you date back to last season. Texas got a win. So they're off the schneid. They're 1-1 now.
They played San Jose State. What was it? 38-7.
38-7. Slow start there, but then they got it going. Illinois, top 10 now. Illinois. They went to Duke. This was expected to be a close game. The spread was tight on this one. Illinois won 45-19.
Second half, they
follow
ran
the
away with it.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Follow the quarterback.
They were Illinois was not great in the first half.
No.
It was a tight game.
It was a close game at halftime, and then Illinois hit the gas, and that was that. Top 10, number 9 Illinois, which is just a crazy thing to say in this year or any year.
They've got the best quarterback in the Big Ten. I don't know what Oregon has, to be perfectly honest with you. I know their quarterback's better than Ohio State's
They score a lot of
quarterback.
points.
It's better than Michigan's quarterback. I mean, better than any other Big Ten quarterback I've seen so
That's
far.
right. Ohio State might be the only good team in the Big Ten.
You don't think Oregon's good?
No, I mean I think Oregon's. I was making a joke.
Yeah, okay.
Oregon doesn't count as a Big Ten team.
I'm not used to thinking of them as a Big Ten team yet. Either.
Yeah. That's a great point, Bo. Yes, Oregon I think is good.
You know who's not
in the Pac-12?
UCLA.
Holy moly! I mean thievery
isn't
with
that
the
awesome?
Iamaleava family.
Oh.
Like, they're terrible. UCLA's
Stealing.
terrible. Nico is terrible. Stealing
Charging them
money.
with larceny.
Stealing money. They lost to UNLV over the weekend. Hey, I'll tell you what. New Mexico goes to the Rose Bowl this weekend, and it would not shock me at all if New Mexico wins.
Bart's going to have that.
It would not. I've already
all over that.
I've already put a bet in on that game. I'm going to be honest with you.
He's looking for the multi-view on YouTube, and he's got to have He's looking for the one that he can build that'll have New Mexico in there too.
That's right.
On YouTube.
I know.
That's right.
Oh, he'll be
Quad
watching.
box. Edward, can you turn him down a little bit? Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Michigan went to Oklahoma and predictably lost. I don't think they're a very good football team.
But Dave Portnoy said their freshman quarterback might be the best single freshman in the history of college football.
He's fine. The rest of their team is bad. Sharon Moore, probably not the guy.
said that?
Iowa State.
Of course he did.
Iowa State beat Iowa 16-13. There are only 2 teams in the Big 12 that are ranked right now: Iowa State and Utah. Kansas State lost to Army, who lost to an FCS school the week before.
Who lost to Army?
Kansas State.
Did that really?
They lost
I
to
didn't
Army.
see that.
Yeah, they did.
Remember, Kansas State had to fight like heck to beat, who was that last week when we thought they were going to lose not only the opener to Iowa State and Ireland, but then the next game they played, they had to come from behind and win at the end. And then they lost to Army.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not. The Big 12 as a whole is just not.
And Army lost to Tarleton State.
Yeah, that's right.
So I watched
That's
that
right.
game. It's a thriller.
It was an entertaining
When nothing
game.
else was on that day, it was pretty good.
Of course, South Florida went to the Swamp and beat Florida. The Bulls of South Florida are 2-0, wins over Boise State and Florida, and are ranked 18th in the country now. And they have Miami next week in Coral Gables. So they're a team to watch. They're a team to watch. And then, Mississippi State took down Arizona State in Starkville, number 12 Arizona State, who fell all the way out of the rankings. By the way, just a quick side note, in the others receiving votes of the AP Top 25, Arizona State, BYU, Georgia Tech, Florida, USC, TCU, Mississippi State, Louisville, SMU, Nebraska, Tulane, Baylor, UNLV, Pitt, Navy, Vandy, and Memphis. Not a single vote for Arkansas, but people are voting for Baylor, UNLV, Navy,
it's
and
trash.
Memphis.
If Arkansas wins this week,
Well, it's trash.
Ole Miss will drop out. Will Arkansas move in?
Yes, they
Will
will.
Arkansas?
I would like to
will
think
you
so.
go from 0
I would like
votes
to
to
think
being
you will.
ranked
You
if you
will.
beat
I would
Ole
like to
Miss?
think
You will.
so.
Yeah. I mean, that's how that's how reactionary and how they don't.
Well,
they're not
I mean,
really
it's
paying
what
attention.
happened. Florida State won that first game. They went from like no votes to.
But
They're
the
up
way-
to number 10 now. Florida State is.
Are they really?
They are a
Wow.
top 10 team after beating
See-
East Texas A&M 77-3.
Nobody cares about being fair to Alabama, and I get that.
Yeah.
Or Kalen DeBoer. But see, this is why you can't throw the stat out that all of ESPN and all their top commentators went with, and we talked about it too, the unranked losses. Florida State did not deserve to be unranked. Nobody knew. And so, like, that preseason poll
polls are
doesn't,
meaningless.
like,
Yeah.
Florida State
They're
is a top
completely
20
meaningless.
team.
Yeah, 100%.
But what I mean is, like, one week they're like, oh, they lost to an unranked team, and the next week they have them ranked 10th.
Right.
They're not an unranked team.
Right.
They're one of the best 25 teams in college football this year, at least from what we've seen. But this is how stats get twisted and numbers get twisted, and it goes to fit narratives like Kalen DeBoer's in over his head at Alabama. Like, we got to call it when we see it, regardless of whether it fits our argument. And that's a time right there. Like, that guy doesn't deserve to have that. Like, go to Tallahassee and play a Mike Norvell coach team. Last year was an anomaly. He's not a 2-10 football coach at a Power 4 program.
I think it's very clear that it was an anomaly at this point.
Now, that doesn't mean Alabama doesn't have all kinds of issues, but let's not throw out like they went in and lost to another, like Kansas State. You can make this argument. They lose to Iowa State, which is a decent team, but they beat North Dakota. That's the team I was thinking about. 38-35 at home. They had to come back to beat North Dakota, and then they turn around and lose to Army.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad.
Football team.
They're not a good team.
Bad, real bad.
Last thought I want to leave you guys with before we exit the Situation Room for now. I don't think I can watch another Mississippi State football game, at least one in Starkville. I don't think I can do it.
Even on TV?
No, not on TV. I don't want anything to do with it. It is an abysmal viewing experience because of the cowbells. It is awful to watch, and the reason it's awful to watch in large part. I mean, look, it's always going to be bad because of the cowbells, But they don't follow the rules, and nobody enforces the rules. The SEC gave them permission to use artificial noisemakers, right? Because they felt bad for them or whatever. I don't know the reasoning, but I'm going to go with because they felt bad for them.
They veiled it with tradition, and they didn't want to take the tradition away.
That's wonderful. I'm so happy for them. But they don't.
What do you think about the people of Mississippi State?
They don't follow the rules.
Oh, and I hate people that don't follow the rules. You gotta hate people like that.
When once the center is over the ball, they're supposed to stop ringing the cowbells.
I just have this vision of Bart standing. Stop ringing the cowbells, screaming.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. That would be a silly thing to do. But what I am asking for is for somebody to have
enforce the rule. That's what Bart wants done.
15-yard penalties. Let's go. Flags. That's what happens when people throw stuff on the field. Let's start throwing out 15-yard penalties.
Here's Kenny Dillingham again.
Awesome environment. I mean, as good as I've been in. Fans were great. Stadium's great. I mean, everything about it was awesome. It's what college football is supposed to be about.
You can hear them.
Yeah. It's
you can hear them
just so obnoxious, and I understand.
It's a losing battle, though, Bart.
I know.
It's a losing battle.
I know it is. Then kick him out of the league. Just be done with them.
By the way,
I don't want anything to do with them ever again.
I mean, we should have the noisemakers.
I disagree. I slightly disagree. Arkansas needs them on the schedule.
Well,
Arkansas needs Mississippi State.
Okay, but the game can only be played in Fayetteville
or War Memorial
Rock.
Stadium.
Yes.
Yeah.
No more Starkville.
Which is
games
better, Little Rock
ever.
or Starkville?
Little Rock.
By the way, having come out of the game over the weekend, Chuck, and hearing conversations, behind the scenes, the murmurings that you hear, the people that you're around, the people you end up being around, I'm not going to ask you to say who, but did anything leave you feeling like this was the last game in Little Rock?
Yes, I'm a little more convinced than I was last week that this was the last one. There are going to be conversations. I don't doubt for a second there will be a renewed push to keep games in Little Rock. But you sold it out one time in 11 years. I don't know that earns you a 10-year pass or anything like that.
The going out of sale business did it.
Here's the thing.
Going out of business sale.
Here's the thing right. I mean, that's basically what it is.
Either way.
If there'd been crowds like that every game, they wouldn't be going out of business. Here's the thing about this whole argument, and this is what I came away with from the weekend, and I've come away with it before. Those who are the vocal proponents of keeping games in Little Rock, it's about their self-interest. It's either economic interest or political interest or civic interest or just the interest in feeling like you did when you were 17 years old and went and saw the Razorbacks play at War Memorial Stadium. We've talked many, many times on this program, and others have talked about it as well. If the Razorbacks in football are ever going to get where, we all want them to be, a championship-level football team every year, we've all got to be on the same page. We don't have the luxury of making mistakes like a lot of schools with larger budgets do. If we make a mistake, we're going to pay for it for a while. I mean, history tells us that. When your self-interest takes over your desire for the program to be the best that it can be, you're in trouble. Orville Henry said years and years and years ago when I was first starting out, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about the Razorbacks. Always remember that, and you'll do fine. And I think about that all the time, and I thought about it again Saturday. The people that are, again, the vocal proponents of keeping games down there, for them, it is not about the Razorbacks. It is about their interest. And I'm not saying their interests are bad. I'm not saying that it's bad for Arkansas to have a presence in Little Rock. I don't think that. But I do think that the people who are vocal about it now are doing so only because it's good for them, not because it's good for the program. But having said all that, I don't think they're going to play there anymore because Arkansas's schedule is pretty much locked up until 2030. I have a hard time believing that the improvements at War Memorial Stadium are going to be able to keep up with the progress that we will make as a society over the next 5 years.
It doesn't make business sense for War Memorial Stadium either. I mean, I don't know enough about what they plan on doing with that stadium, but that doesn't make sense on any level, really, that I can find, other than nostalgic purposes. And everybody got to enjoy that on Saturday. And now, in my opinion, it's time to just move on like everyone else in the country has done.
There's a huge economic impact for the city, for the area down there when the Razorbacks play. There's no doubt about it. I mean, people made more money this weekend than they made in a lot of weekends. I guarantee you the businesses did.
And I love that
there.
for them.
And I'm happy for them. I want them to do well. But, again, that's their interest. That's their interest. And I'm not against it. But I don't think it's the overriding interest.
877-377-6963. We were just in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. Chevy of Fayetteville has over 200 new vehicles on the lot right now inside the Fayetteville Auto Park. The Traverses, the Trax, the Tahoes, the Suburbans, the Silverados like Chuck just got, the Trailblazer like I just drove in an emergency situation to Oak Lawn after I had a blowout on Thursday, leaving town. They had me at Loner in 10 minutes.
It's what allowed you to get to Oaklawn on time for your meeting.
Yeah,
the whole thing would have fallen apart if you'd not been there.
Had fallen apart.
Yeah.
And I'm sure glad it didn't because, man, we had
a great time.
We had a great time. 7:18, it's the Chuck and Bo Show, Reaction Monday. Your thoughts coming up. Yeah, see, this is what the Chuck and Bo Show is. You just show up and have coffee with you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Summer storms and heavy rains can sneak up fast, so make sure your gutters are ready to handle it all. Hog Trough Gutters, locally owned and operated with 30 years of experience, installs seamless gutters made on site to protect your home. They're fully licensed and insured. Every job is hydro-tested, and each one comes with a 20-year warranty. Proudly serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. Schedule your free inspection today at hoggutters.com.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
That's special.
no idea how a McMuffin could bring a man back to life. Because I'm just going to tell you, I wolfed mine down moments ago, and I feel like $1 million.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Brent is in Searcy. He's been holding patiently. I know he's got a lot to say. Brent, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Brent, what's on your mind?
23.
Good morning, Chuck and Bo.
Good morning.
I'm just going to tell you, Saturday, I was impressed. That was the way the Razorbacks were supposed to take care of the Arkansas State Red Wolves. I was thoroughly impressed. There was no doubt from the first play to the last play who the king of the hill was.
Well, you're right about that. I mean, the pass play on the first play from scrimmage was good. The run on the second was like, you knew right then that it wasn't going to be close, or at least I thought so.
Now I feel very, very confident that we're going to win this game Saturday night at Ole Miss. You want to hear my reasoning?
Yeah.
When you got Joe Judge coaching your quarterback, you got a real good, great chance of winning a football game. I'm just going to tell you, that's like having like Mike Judge's creation, Beavis and Butthead coaching your quarterbacks right there. We've just got to sure up our special team. Goodness gracious. Another 100-yard kickoff return. Our football for a touchdown. Our football season can get off to the start. We're ready to go now. I mean, too many penalties that way. But other than that, we played a pretty solid football game. And I'm with Chuck. I'll take 10 touchdowns to 2 interceptions any day of the week.
Yeah. Well, you don't want those 2 to come at a bad time, and you sure don't want them to come this coming Saturday at a bad time. But 10 and 2 is pretty good.
No, you don't. You don't. Chuck, forgive my ignorance. What's the game time for Saturday night?
6. They finally set that yesterday. 6 o'clock, straight up.
On what? On
ESPN.
ESPN.
It'll be on the It'll be on the mothership.
It's on ESPN. No, nothing following the end. Just ESPN. ESPN. Jeremy Schaap.
I got one
ESPN.
Hey, Bo, I got one other thing to say. Kenny Dillingham's headed towards that 5-7, isn't he?
Well, he's a good coach. I think really good coach. But, you hear him talk in news conferences, they don't have an indoor practice facility, for example. They get in a bubble, and they, can practice in there. But it's Arizona State is another example of, you can't outperform the issues sometimes that you have as a program. You can have a good year, but anybody thinks Indiana, even with their schedule, is going to win 10 or 11 games this year. I don't believe that. Again,
the Big 12's a finesse league. It's an out scheme you league. They had to go play a block and tackle team, and I think that was a part of it.
Yeah, Rod's on I-40 as always. Driving that truck. What's up, Rod?
Beautiful morning, nice and cool.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Arkansas State. Yeah, thanks for coming. I thought Bush Davis was going to need EMT by the end of the second quarter. He was redlining over there. Did you see him?
Yeah, I did.
Poor guy. He's a good coach. It's completely outclassed.
Well, look, there were moments, where, and this is just what happens in games where you're not as good a team, is, they're making mistakes and they're not getting it right. And when that happens, and if Arkansas does this against Ole Miss, it'll just compound. And one mistake turns into a -3 situation. It's not just one is -1. You make a mistake and it's twice as bad. And that's what was happening to Arkansas State on Saturday, and he was losing his mind over it. But that's to be expected, at least from my perspective, on the matchup in this game.
They didn't start real well against SEMO either. And I heard him talk after the game about how 2 straight games we've gotten off to bad starts. And I'm sure that had something to do with it too.
I don't know. Once your linebackers are faster than their running backs, if you pretty much got a bad situation to begin with, I guess that'll about cover it with Arkansas and Arkansas State, huh? Playing each other.
Well,
that's what you needed to happen. You didn't need some great game, and then we're never going to hear the end of this.
For a great game, and that's what got me last week and in the weeks preceding that.
All summer.
There was never a chance this was going to be a close game, and anyone who tried to convince you it was going to be, they either had their own agenda or they have no idea what they're talking about. They've never watched the programs play. Because anyone that thought this was going to be close was just fooling themselves.
Yeah, it was never going to be. And we ran right in the front gate and right out their butt. It was all over before it began.
That's one way to put it.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it with a big deal of popcorn, maybe a Yingling, but hey,
yeah, flight.
It's okay. It was entertaining. My wife says, "Who are these people and why are we playing them?" I said, "Precisely." So it is what it is. I hate those. Man, I could fill it up with cliches right now, but I'm not going to. Anyway, you guys have a good morning.
You too.
Thanks, Rod.
Watch the games at Walk-Ons. If you want to have a flight by Yingling, they've got it on draft. Just ask for it. It's the next generation of light beer, 95 calories. Tastes like a Yingling, but just 95 calories. And Walk-Ons has over 60 TVs. Look, there's no better place to watch a game. Sometimes you just want to watch the game at home, but I don't know. For me, I get tired of watching the quad box. I need
a bigger TV if I'm going to go quad box.
I mean, like a really
giant
really,
TV. Yeah, like 100 inches.
Or you just go to Walk-Ons and they got every single game on. But like, take the NFL for example.
That's the better
they
route.
got every single game. I mean, you just this TV, that TV, golf, whatever you want to keep an eye on. I mean, that's like a whole different level of an experience, and you have great food at Walk-Ons, which is why I love going there. Arkansas on ESPN, 6 o'clock in Oxford, a 9-point underdog this weekend. I'm surprised a little bit by that number.
I am too. I thought it'd be.
I'm happy about
I thought it'd be closer to like 6.5.
I'm happy.
I thought it'd be 6.5.
I mean, I think this is going to be a fourth quarter game. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm interested to see Arkansas's defense against Ole Miss. Like, they're not going to.
Right.
Like, are they going to get?
I'm interested to see Arkansas secondary.
Because they're the number 8 cover team in the country right now. I know that number will shock people from Pro Football Focus who analyzes that type of thing. But they've played A&M and Arkansas State. Alabama A&M and Arkansas State. So what do they look like now that they get into the SEC? Can they be opportunistic? Can they make turnovers count when they have a chance? Can they get to the quarterback?
That's it. Here's the most impressive stat in my mind defensively from the weekend. 3.5 sacks between your 2 edge rushers. Phillip Lee, Quincy Rhodes, those guys, you had 3.5 sacks between the edge guys. Now, I know that blocking Ole Miss's tackles is going to be different than blocking A-State's tackles, or
vice versa.
Beating them, what I mean. But that was encouraging to me. They went out and, they got a couple of new edge rushers. And they're counting on Quincy Rhodes, really stepping up. And so far he has. Quincy's had a sack in both these games. Now, again, the competition level is going to go up. But that, to me, is one of the things to watch Saturday. Because, again, you can give up 30 points. You can give up 30 points and still win. And sometimes it's that drive where they're trying to score and tack on to those 30 points. If you can get a rush from the edge and you can hit the guy and the ball comes out, that's an opportunistic defense, and that team wins the game.
877-377-6963. It's Monday, September 8th. It's 7:32. It's 53 on the hill in Fayetteville, getting up to maybe 80 today, the low 80s with some sunshine. But we have some fall weather for sure. Chuck has a little bit of a bad habit of getting on Facebook and buying things.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more, they carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Chevy of Fayetteville has over 200 new vehicles on the lot right now. So if you're in the market, now's the time to make a move. That includes the brand new Chevy Traverse, the Chevy Trax, and all the favorites like the Tahoes and Suburban. And for truck lovers, there are Silverados in stock and ready for immediate delivery. So go see Chris, Mark, Denver, and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
You know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
everybody wants to win. When you, as a fan or a person or whoever, make everything about winning, you're saying that only winning is acceptable. And I guarantee you, you don't win every single day.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, Rod brought up a minute ago, cool this morning, and man, it is. Feels good. The changing of the seasons is coming. And Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric wants you to be ready. Comfort and quality are always within reach at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. They've been doing this a long time, over 50 years. If you're from Northwest Arkansas, you've heard this name all your life. But if you are not, if you can hear my voice, Pascal's either there or they are on their way. This is a company that's expanding, it's growing, and it's because they do things the right way. They build trust with their customer base. No shortcuts, no surprises, just Pascal quality at a price more families can afford. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
Did you guys see this Missouri situation? A student has a chance to kick a 45-yard field goal, I guess. I don't know why they run these kids out here to make these impossible
I don't even think it
field
was a
goals.
student. I think it was like
somebody. He had a chance to win.
It was just a fan.
25K, and he goes out there, and instead he wrote something KU,
bleep KU.
Yeah.
On his chest.
I saw that.
And
35-year-old.
And then instead of kicking the ball towards the upright, he turned and kicked a line drive at the Kansas sideline.
And the crowd roared.
Now, that's a guy that knows how to play to an audience.
Kansas and Missouri just don't like each other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was good. I'm glad they played. We need games like that.
I agree.
We need games like that.
Also, by the way, it was a 45-yard field goal that he had to kick.
That's what I was trying to say.
There's nobody who's fan is making that.
People aren't making these kicks. They make it impossible.
The only people who make it not impossible is Pat McAfee on
That's
Gameday.
right. That's right. I
Well, you got college kids out there wearing cleats like this guy Saturday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a little bit of a difference
You
between.
can't make a 45-yard field goal.
Exactly.
So might as well have fun with it.
I agree.
Charlie and Camden, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, there aren't many. There are some regular kickers who can make a 45-yard field goal. Y'all expect me to go out there?
Your tennis
and
shoes.
even what about just? Can we cut it to 25 yards?
I'm
I
saying,
think I might
make it interesting.
Yeah, I might could get it there. It'd take a few reps though, but they're just going up there and kicking it. And I wanted to ask you guys something. I was at the game Saturday, and I was getting texts from a buddy of mine, and they kept harping on Talon and all that, and they were talking about the crossing route. Have you guys noticed that we are seeing that more this year? I think he's improved. A lot of people think that throw is easy to make, by the way. And people who haven't played quarterback or whatever, they don't know what they're talking about. Throwing a crossing route is actually not an easy throw to always make because you have to find the right kind of touch. You have to find, you have to be able to lead the guy upfield. It's a lot harder than people think. And I've seen improvement in that. I'm seeing more crossing routes this year, which is a Bobby Petrino staple, by the way, if anybody remembers back in the day. And I've seen it the first 2 weeks. And another thing I've seen the first 2 weeks, has anybody seen a bad snap yet, knock on wood? Yeah. I haven't seen one. Not one. And people don't. And look, I understand. You don't want to talk about that because you don't want that to be happening. But when it's happening, everybody's talking about it. And so the center has played well. I'll tell you what, seeing Robinson pull on that play on Washington, I mean, when he put that on tape, I'm like, man, look, this guy's an athlete. If you throw a screen or something to his side and he can get out in space, I mean, that was special to see.
Carmona threw a great block on that play, too.
He did. Carmona got out
that guy.
Did a great job. They all did a great job. And then Washington, showed his speed, broke the tackle, and the rest was history. Look, I want to talk about something that you said last week, Bo, confidence with Talon. If Talon was not confident, I think about that touchdown that he threw right before the end of the first half. That's not an easy throw to make. He layered that ball over the linebacker into the back of the end zone. You don't make that throw if you lose your confidence. And I thought, for him, look, I thought the first one, from where I was sitting, Chuck, and I don't know if you saw it, I think look, I'm not making excuses for him, okay? That's not what I'm doing here. I thought the ref got in the way and he didn't see the defender. But that was where I was sitting. On the second one, I felt like there was a little bit of route depth perception issue. Like, I thought Platt pushed the route up too far, and I don't think Brown thought the ball was coming to him, so he stopped as he was coming out of his break. That's what I thought. Not making excuses for Talon. I'm just saying, for him to keep his confidence in his guys is important. Now, if we can cut out the mistakes, I saw Sam Pitman, man, when O. Scott found right there in the first half, like, I don't know where it was when they were kicking a field goal, he jumped him from one end to the other. I'm like, dude, like, we can't have that where I got to use the timeout because I guess they didn't have enough guys on the field. Or
12
they had
men in one instance, they had 12 men on.
Yeah, and so, like, I'm excited about that, seeing Sam's intensity. I'm not saying that he hasn't been intense before, but, like, just to see that energy from him is important. The team needs it, and he's got a new hip. So I see a re-energized, rejuvenated Sam Pitman right now. Look, we got a long season to go. Here comes the gauntlet. Everybody get ready. But there's a lot of great things in these first 2 weeks. They just got to keep getting better. Defense played unbelievable. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to play the games that are in front of you. And so far they've done that. And they're going to take another step forward for the Ole Miss game. I'm excited for this game. I mean, I think this is going to be a fun game, a great game to watch, and it's going to come down to somebody making a play in the fourth quarter to win the game.
Hear, hear.
I mean, I'm ready for it.
I think you're right.
I love an exciting offensive. I think one of the things that people loved about Petrino when he was here as the head coach was you felt like you always had a chance on offense.
You got a chance to outscore him.
You got a chance. You get down.
It might be
10,
50 to 45, but we can win.
But you got a chance to get on a roll and get it done. Hey, football season's here. The raffle's back. The next raffle's for the Notre Dame game, by the way. So if you want to get ready for that, get signed up for that. You go to RazerbackRaffle.com, open online for anyone 18 or over, anywhere within the state of Arkansas. And the winner gets 50% of the jackpot, and the rest go to support Razorback student athletes. So RazerbackRaffle.com. The next one, Notre Dame at 11 a.m. We got 2 more games before we have a game back in Fayetteville.
Sales start in 30 minutes, by the way, for that raffle.
For the Notre Dame one.
Yeah,
that's going to set a record, don't you think? The Notre Dame game raffle.
There's a big build up to it.
Yeah, there's a chance that could happen. It's 7:45. It's Monday, September 8th. I don't know what this means, but it's National Boss Employee Exchange Day. Does that mean we change roles, like if you're a boss or an employee, or that you exchange gifts?
I really don't know.
That's a great question.
Baffled.
I don't know. Bart, would you look into that?
Yeah,
and then get back to us maybe next segment.
Sure.
On the Chuck and
You
Bo
got it.
Show.
Yeah.
Good morning. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's stunning to hear every 20 minutes a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. But we can help. Grant life-changing wishes with Waiters for Wishes and the Razorback men's basketball team. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Walk-Ons in Fayetteville. This private ticketed event lets you take photos, get autographs, challenge your favorite hog to a Pop-A-Shot, and bid on silent auction items, all benefiting Make-A-Wish Mid-South. Tables are limited and going fast, so reserve yours today at midsouth.wish.org.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Razorback Raffle is back. This raffle is a new and exciting way to support Razorback athletics, whether you're inside Razorback Stadium or calling the Hogs anywhere in the great state of Arkansas. Our inaugural raffle jackpots grew to nearly $500,000 last spring. Now you can be our next big winner, even if you're not in the stadium. Get your raffle ticket purchased to have a chance to win big right now at RazorbackRaffle.com.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Bo, and for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We talk about is how do we make Chuck's life exciting?
My life is exciting. I just don't tell you guys everything.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, we're going to get to the phones quickly, and the governor has apparently said on the Buzz in Little Rock today that she is advocating for this A-State Arkansas game to be played every year.
Now, who could have seen that coming?
Whether that actually happens or not is a different matter entirely. By the way, Teamwork Roofing and Construction, we talk about it all the time, about the people, how they do the job, how they communicate, how they leave the job site when it's over, immaculate. But really, the thing that's important is when you get your roof done, you want to make sure that you're using the highest quality materials.
and they have the highest quality of people working on your roof, because you don't get to get up there and check it out like some expert and oh, they didn't do this right or they didn't do that right. You got to be able to trust it. And that's the reputation that Teamwork Roofing and Construction has put together, the credibility. You can go to their Facebook page, see the work they've done. Go to their website, teamworkbuilt.com, teamworkbuilt.com, built on quality, powered by teamwork. We got calls coming in from all over the state. Let's go to Jonesboro. Patrick, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Patrick ran out of gas. Cecil in Fort Smith. Let's try Cecil.
Good morning.
Hey, man.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing great, Cecil.
That's great, man. I'm always wanting to say something, man. I gotta say something. I'm really shocked at the point spread on the game, the Ole Miss game. I couldn't believe that when I saw that on the best search, and it was 9.5 or 9. And then I looked at it again last night because I was definitely playing, and it dropped down to 8.5. I mean, I'm taking Arkansas head up. I guess the odds will do better that way. I mean, of course, I'm a bet with them anyway because I'm a Hog fan, but I think we're going to be really good the rest of the season. I don't know how many games we're going to win, but I have a lot of confidence that we're going to beat Ole Miss. I watched Ole Miss play. They're not as good as last year. That's just my opinion, though. But anyway, yeah.
Well, Ole Miss is going to be a step up for Arkansas, but Arkansas is going to be a step up for Ole Miss too. Arkansas is playing better than Kentucky right now, and I'm not saying Kentucky's not a good team, but Ole Miss is going to have to play better this week to win the game too.
Right, and remember, Chuck, the portal, the third or fourth week, then you can really see what's really going on. Because I was surprised that a few teams that I watched, they wasn't as good as they seem to be. They talk, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, go Hogs, man. And that was a great game last night, that Buffalo game, and I hit 2 times on Ben Saris, and go Cecil Gardner.
You got to try Oaklawn Sports app.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, try that one.
Hey, man, y'all have a blessed day.
Okay, you too. See, but by the way, you just go over there and you get new customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. $1,000 in bonus bets once you sign up for Oaklawn. I mean, you got a lot to get to. I'm going to be listening to you.
Okay.
I'm going to go get in that school traffic line. Going to have great father-daughter conversation. And when that breaks down, I'm going to turn on the Chuck and Bo Show and call in maybe.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like Walk-Ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this. There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
We were 0-5. They put us all in the coffin. They just didn't put the nails in.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I just have, I imagine in your house. I've never been in your home. Not because I don't want to. I've just never been invited. I imagine.
I've never been to your house either.
I don't know. You've been to anybody's house.
No, that's what I'm saying. I've not been invited either.
You go to anybody's house?
No.
Like anybody?
No one invites me.
Chuck's key to life is you don't come to my house and I won't go to yours. We'll just live out here in the wild together.
You're reading me like a children's
But I
story.
have.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
It's a Reaction Monday. The Hogs are 2-0. They battered little brother on Saturday, and all anybody's talking about today is should they keep playing games in Little Rock? The game was one-sided, as anyone who's watched football for a day knew it would be. But since there's nothing to talk about with a game, we got to talk about whether or not they're going to keep playing in Little Rock. And the reason I say that is we have a developing situation as we begin the new hour. The governor has gone on the radio in Little Rock this morning and declared that she wants to see this game played every year in the capital city. And letters have been sent to the respective boards already. And as we head to the Chevy Fayetteville Situation Room, Bart, here we go.
Yeah, that's right. That's basically what's happening. The governor has said that she wants to see this game played every year in War Memorial Stadium between Arkansas and Arkansas State, and that's something she's advocating for. And well, there are just a lot of problems that arise with that, Chuck.
So in the years when Arkansas plays 5 conference road games, under that scenario. Mm-hmm. There would be a requirement for another game at a neutral site. So you're guaranteed in those years to only play, what would it be, 4 or 5 games in Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Because it looks like Arkansas is into this home and home thing. What are you going to do, cancel Utah?
Right.
Play ASU? I mean, what are you going to do?
Right. Yeah. And it creates immediate scheduling difficulties, right? So next year, Arkansas already has their 3 non-conference games set. North Alabama at Utah and Tulsa. You would assume that next year Arkansas will play 5 SEC home games, that the conference will work with the schools to try to, make this as easy a transition as possible. So since Arkansas plays a Power 4 game on the road, that they would get 5 SEC home games next year, plus North Alabama and Tulsa. That's 7 home games in Fayetteville right next year. 2027 creates there are already problems because there's a game at Tulsa on the schedule for 2027. And so you're already going to lose a home game that year assuming you play 5 SEC road games that year. Now you play at Tulsa. That's 6 games away from Fayetteville already. And then 2028, you're at Notre Dame. Like the logistics of this in a 9-game SEC schedule world, it's really hard to see how it works.
I got 2 schools really of thought on this.
Yeah.
One is she knows it's not going to happen, and therefore she's free to say anything she wants. Mm-hmm. That is one thing that I do wonder about, because as you say, the schedule is locked down. I don't know if the University of Arkansas has been proactive in locking this schedule down until 2030 because of this, or if it just happened to work out that way. I don't know. Right. But I know that the schedule is set, for the next 5 years or so. So there's a part of me that wonders if she's not going all in, so to speak, with the full knowledge
that it's not
going to happen.
Sure.
But now the greater part of me, not just with our governor, but so many of the vocal proponents of playing games in Little Rock, these people are only about their own self-interests. They do not understand the concept of the greater good. And that's why I have a problem with them, because they know better. A lot of these people that are the vocal proponents of games in Little Rock know better. This is about either business interests, political interests, civic interests, or just nostalgic interests. I want to feel the way I felt when I was 25. Well, you know what? I do too. But going to a ball game and having a few cocktails on the golf course, it'll get you there temporarily. But the next day, I'm still 62. You know?
And maybe feel a little worse.
That's how it works. The idea that you can turn back the clock is, look, I've said this before, and this is what I've tried to keep in mind the 30-plus years that I've worked around here. Very early in my time around here, Clay was kind enough on one trip to let me visit with Orville for a while. And he said, point blank, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about the Razorbacks. If you will keep that in mind, you'll be okay. If you lose sight of that, you will fail. It's just as simple as that. Yeah. That is so simple.
That's good.
It's so simple. I think about that all the time. I thought about it Saturday. I thought about it during the game Saturday. Because let's face it, it was boring. Arkansas blew them out.
Game, yeah.
We had a lot of time for our mind to wander. And I did. I looked out at the stadium and I thought, how long is it going to be before the politicians turn this into something that is a political opportunity? And, of course, we have our answer. Not very long.
The weekend.
Look, these are folks that are well-meaning. I'm not disparaging Governor Sanders. Just for the record, as much as I like Asa Hutchinson, I thought he was mistaken 7 or 8 years ago. I thought Governor Mike Huckabee was mistaken years ago when all this was first brought to the forefront. Doesn't mean I think they're bad people. Doesn't mean I think they're bad governors. It means that I disagree with them on this because I think they're putting their interests above the one thing in this state that, whether we want to admit it or not, we place more importance on than anything else.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
We do not have the luxury. We do not have the luxury that a lot of programs with big dollars have. We can't make mistakes. We have to try harder. We have to be more efficient in what we do. That only happens when everyone's on the same page. And putting your own civic interests or your own economic interests or your own political interests above that. You know, if I was a real cynic, I'd say, well, that's part of the reason we're in the spot we're in right now. And that's what bothers me about all this. Again, not that I think these are bad people. It's just that they know better. And that's what troubles me about this. All right, let's go to the phones. Ryan's on the line in Hot Springs. Ryan, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Well, here's my thought on this. You know, we talk about the whole War Memorial thing, but we're going to Memphis and we're going to Tulsa. Why do that when we could do a home and home with Arkansas State, keep the game in state, give the money back to that community instead of giving it to Memphis or give it to Tulsa? I mean, if we're going to go play a group of 5 on the road, why not do it with a state and keep it in the state and put the money back into our own state?
Well, everybody's getting paid regardless of where you play. This idea. Go ahead.
That's my point, though. That's my whole point, though. Like, if we're going to go on the road and play a group of 5 team, why not keep it in state? That's my only thing about it.
Why is it important to you to keep it in state? I'm just curious.
Well, I just don't see the point of, because it's still basically a home game for you. You're not having to go on the road, and you're keeping the money in state for your. I'm just saying you're giving. What I mean in the state, I'm talking about you're keeping the money. Your for that community is getting the of all the people of that revenue. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
no,
Little Rock gets the revenue, Little Rock gets the revenue of that game, not Tulsa or not Memphis. Is my point.
All right, I appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you.
I think part of Ryan's argument, which he isn't expressing, is why lose the home game for Arkansas by playing it in Little Rock. Instead, if you're going to have a recurring game if you have to have the game against A-State, why not do it? I think that's what he was trying to get at.
Yeah. The simple answer is that Arkansas has no interest in going and playing
Right.
in Jonesboro.
Right.
But
I think that's
understand what he's saying. Is he's saying why go
waste
play
the home
in
game for
Tulsa
Arkansas
or go play in Memphis as opposed to playing in Jonesboro? I think there's more to play than just that part of it. You know, Arkansas recruits the Tulsa area. Arkansas recruits the Memphis area. Like those are important places for the Razorbacks to have a presence. Do I agree with Arkansas playing a game at Tulsa? No, but it makes more sense in that aspect than playing in Jonesboro.
Well, a big problem with War Memorial Stadium is just playing in War Memorial Stadium. I mean, look, it was not lost on me Saturday when I saw all these officials walking around glad-handing everybody, and the internet doesn't work. I mean, the last 2 times we've played in Little Rock, we can't even have Pitman on from the locker room because of the way the infrastructure's set up there. There were no stats. There was nothing. Last year, there was no running water upstairs. The 2 years before that, there was no water to buy outside. I'm not knocking these people. They're good people. But it's like, my gosh, folks, get in your car, go to an SEC venue other than Ole Miss or Mississippi State. Go to these venues and watch these teams play home games that you expect Arkansas to compete with every year. And then ask yourself, honestly, not is it in my best interest for the Razorbacks to play in Little Rock, not wouldn't it be fun if we could play in Little Rock, not wouldn't it be great to keep all the money in the state? Ask yourself, is this really what's best for our program? I don't think a thinking person can come to a conclusion that the answer is anything but no. I just don't know how anyone could come to any other conclusion. Nelson is in Harrison. Nelson, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Thanks for waiting.
Hey, thanks, guys. Well, what I said last week summed it all up. I was real short. Arkansas State is Arkansas State. I watched them play SEMO. I watched them play us. Yeah, they got ran over by SEMO, and they got double ran over by us. Yeah, they beat SEMO, but what does that matter? I mean, from bell to bell, they didn't have a chance. There was no chance. And it was boring. And it was ridiculous. And, you know, I want to say, I hope that one kid, he seemed like he was all right. They got the friendly fire. And Arkansas State was playing with everything they had. I mean, they was giving it all they had, but they just didn't have enough. You know, it's like, and to sit here and say, well, I'd like to see this game every year, nobody will want that. Nobody will enjoy that. That won't bring anything to the state. Whatever you say about bringing stuff to the state, that's not bringing anything to the state of Arkansas. Now, like was said, the other games, we recruit Tulsa. We recruit Memphis. Other stuff like that. But, guys, this is what I want to say. Arkansas State is behind us. Hunter Yurchek said that it'll be 6 years before we can even look at scheduling. So why are we even talking about it right now? This game was on schedule. This game was in the works for 6 years before it was even played, the Arkansas State game. So it's not happening anytime soon. So I'm ready to get ready for Ole Miss. And I tell you what, man, Taylor Green's took that next step, and he's hitting 6 different receivers for touchdowns. Our tight ends are blocking. I really like the way our running backs picked up the blocks better this game. And I love what our tight ends are doing. Since we had such that tight end debacle last year, our tight ends are looking great. And I'm ready for Ole Miss, guys, and go Hogs.
All right, Nelson, thank you. Man, Rohan Jones, he had a gear over there on that sideline, didn't he? That was impressive. Hey, we've had a lot of rain. I'm not breaking any news there. If you've had problems with your gutters, if you've got problems with your gutters, you probably know that now. Hog Trough Gutters is the answer. You're working with a local company, number one. They've been doing it right for 30 years. When you have a company that works on your home, whether it be gutters or roofing, Bo talks about teamwork, things like that. When you stay in business for 30 years, it means you're doing something right. I mean, if you do work on people's homes and you do shoddy work, it gets around, and you go out of business pretty quick. Hogcroft's been around for 30 years. Fully licensed, Arkansas contractors, fully insured. Every job comes with a written 20-year warranty. Check them out. If you've got an issue, take a picture, send it to them. Lots of times they can assess the situation just by that. Visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com. 818, Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Chuck, you've been around a while, and look, I don't mean that ugly, and Bo, you've been around not as long as Chuck.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
The voice of the Razorbacks is Chuck Barrett, and he chose McDonald Eye Associates for his recent cataract surgery.
I went to McDonald Eyes. I can see in a way I've not seen in a long time. And I'm looking forward to this football season because of that. Your eyes are a big deal. I don't care if you're a sports play-by-play guy or what you do. You have to have trust. My trust was developed because I knew they were listening to me.
For your best vision, trust McDonald Eye. Online and same-day appointments at mcdonaldeye.com.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Has your roof been taking a beating after the summer we had with the heat, the sun, and those sudden storms? Teamwork Roofing and Construction knows your roof is more than just shingles. It protects your home, your business, and everything inside. And their expert team delivers top-quality roofing and construction services all over Arkansas and beyond. And they only use the best materials while treating every project like it's their very own. Visit their website, teamworkbuilt.com, or you can find them on Facebook. Teamwork Roofing, built on quality, powered by teamwork. Today's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here. Let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm going to get in your truck today, and I'm going to drive away. And you're going to be able to admire your truck in a way that you otherwise can't because you're driving it.
It's a good-looking
You got to
truck.
do that once when you get a new vehicle.
That little kid driving.
Yeah.
Good-looking truck, though.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Caleb is on the line in Mountain Home as we head back to the phones. Caleb, good morning. Welcome to the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Caleb.
I just want to start off, and I want to talk about everything. Chuck, you hit the nail on the head earlier. You know, I was thinking whenever I was watching the game on Saturday, I had never been so stressed watching a Razorback game while still being up by like 35 points. Every single touchdown, every single point difference that I saw on that scoreboard was the difference between Arkansas getting ridiculed for keeping the game close, for we should play this game again next year, for we should keep this thing a thing. I never want to see this game get played ever again. Arkansas did everything they needed to do. I give props to Pitman, the team. They came out and they played hard. I think it's the first time in like 10 years since we put up 50 points on a group of 5 opponent. But at the same time, this game doesn't do any good for the University of Arkansas. There are those out there, I know y'all are, listen, I don't mean anything against Arkansas State personally. I don't mean anything against War Memorial personally. But Arkansas has such a daunting task in college football, it's not even funny. We have to go out, we have to play these huge games against national contenders. So why is it that we can't just look at our schedule and say, let's give ourselves every advantage? Let's not schedule teams that have a chip on a shoulder against us. Let's look at our schedule and say, let's try to keep our games at home so that way we have a better chance of winning them. You know, we already got rid of the Dallas game, which I believe was a hinder to us by playing A&M there every year. Now let's try, as much as I hate to say it, we can't keep playing games in War Memorial in the state it's in. It's too infrastructurally bad. The only way you could ever see Arkansas consider going back there long-term for at least one game a year is if you poured the millions of dollars it took to not even expand it but just repair it, to put in the infrastructure to make it work. And even then, we would probably only do about one game a year there. And I know everybody's rooting for making this game happen, but they'll probably clam up as soon as you tell them that. And that's the part nobody's talking about. But that's probably the only way the university would consider going back.
Well, I think people have this idea that every stadium's the same, with the exception of the size and the number of seats. That the infrastructure, look, I'm not knocking them. If I didn't work in it, I wouldn't know either. But the average fan has no idea about frequency coordination, about the importance of the frequency coordinator inside a stadium, about how it's like being an air traffic controller, that all these wireless signals from the coaches on the sidelines to the television telecasting the game, everything operates on wireless frequencies. And the frequencies have never been right at War Memorial Stadium. That's why the scoreboard's messed up a lot. That's why the internet goes out. This game was on ESPN Plus for 2 reasons. Number one, it wasn't that big a game outside of our corner of the world. But number 2, television's operations hate coming to Little Rock because of all the infrastructure issues. You can be guaranteed that when you broadcast a game, we know when we go to Little Rock to broadcast a game, there's going to be a problem. We just know it. And the last 2 times we've been there, we've not been able to have Pitman in the locker room because of infrastructure issues, frequency issues. The reason the reason your internet messed up on Saturday when you were watching the game on ESPN Plus is because of frequency issues inside the stadium. Now, the SEC came in a few years ago and said if you're going to continue to have any games there, you've got to address this. They addressed it minimally. They got to the lowest bar they could hit and keep the games, and they stopped. You know why? Because this is state-funded. It's a state-owned facility now. Part of the reason the governor, and I'm sure that all the governors view it as their duty to try to protect state property. The reason they want those games there is the state owns that stadium now, and they can't for the life of them figure out how they're going to keep it running without having Razorback games down there. So I get all that. But it goes back to what I said a little bit earlier. Everybody is thinking about their own self-interests. The majority of the real vocal proponents of keeping games in Little Rock have either been one, state office holders, or two, they've been on the stadium commission. And they've been appointed by the governor. And those are the people that have been the proponents of keeping games in Little Rock, the vocal proponents. It's because they have their own self-interests. They have their own self-interest at stake. It has nothing to do with the Razorbacks. It has nothing to do with winning. It has nothing to do with the business of college football. It has to do with their interests. And look, everyone, I get that. Everyone's got to protect what's theirs. I understand that part. But we can't keep doing this. We can't keep arguing about this. What happened Saturday, I guess, the state wanted it. I'm sure if you put a public vote out across Arkansas right now and said, do you want to keep Razorback games in Little Rock or not? I think it'd be close, but I think more people than not would say yes. Because they don't really understand what the real issue here is in terms of Arkansas. You can't keep playing games there. You just can't. It has nothing to do with whether you play in Arkansas State. It has nothing to do with who you're playing. You just can't keep playing games in that facility. They want to, the people that want to keep games there are unwilling to address that. They've just been unwilling to address it. And for that reason, you just can't keep doing it. If you want to have big games, if you want people to pay attention to what you're doing, if you want to raise awareness of your brand, you can't do it playing Arkansas State and Little Rock with games on ESPN+. You got to do better than that. Quick break. Back with more in just a moment. It's 8:30 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, guys. You're having a great show today.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Alyssa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Particularly in the South, I'm not sure there's a title that carries more weight than coach. Maybe preacher.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I was really dorky. As I'm sure it's a
Is
shock
that-
for you guys to
is
realize
that right?
Oh, I was a total dork.
What a great story.
No, now I'm an older dork.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We have a developing situation this morning. The governor has gone on the radio in Little Rock and has declared that she wants to see this game played every year in the capital city, in the stadium, and has sent letters to the boards of trustees for the two universities. And Bart has acquired the letter. So let's head into the Situation Room and find out what the governor has to say.
Here we go, Chuck.
All right, read it to me.
Dear trustees, this week marked a historic moment for our state, the city of Little Rock and War Memorial Stadium, as we hosted the first ever meeting between the Razorbacks and the Red Wolves on the football field. This special and long overdue occasion united the University of Arkansas and Arkansas State University in a way that fans across Arkansas have dreamed of for decades. As trustees of your respective institutions, you share in the pride and the passion of your fan bases, and you hold the ability to ensure this game is not a one-time event, but the beginning of a lasting tradition. As governor, a native of Little Rock, and a lifelong football fan, I am calling on you to make this historic matchup an annual event at War Memorial Stadium in the heart of our state. Generations of Arkansans have come to this stadium to cheer for their teams and witness some of the greatest moments in Arkansas sports history, but never before for a game like this. Now is the time to change that. I urge you to work together to secure this tradition for the people of Arkansas. If I may be of any assistance in this effort, please do not hesitate to call on me. Sincerely, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Governor of Arkansas.
A lot of what she put in that letter is true. Saturday was a great day. It was a day that you could not help but feel all the things that she spoke about in that letter. But sometimes even the greatest moments are just that. They're moments. If Arkansas and Arkansas State were to play every year in Little Rock, and every year it was a 56-14 type ball game, the shine on this would wear off very quickly, in less than 5 years.
Yes.
I would go so far as to say if the schedule were set up right now, where Arkansas and Arkansas State played next year at War Memorial Stadium, there would be fewer people there next year than were there this past Saturday. I have no doubt, 100% certain that would be the case. It was a great moment. We had a text a minute ago saying we deserve this kind of day. All right, I'll concede that. And it was a feel-good day. But the idea that you're going to be able to recreate this year after year after year in a stadium that is not set up to handle these types of crowds every time they open the doors. They're just no longer set up to handle it. Infrastructure-wise, the facility just can't hold up anymore. The shine's going to wear off very, very quickly. And it is not the Razorbacks' job to build up Arkansas State. And just because you get a nice buzz working in the afternoon on a warm day in Little Rock, I mean, everybody feels good when you get a couple of drinks in you, you're outside, it's warm, beautiful day. Man, we need to do this every year. I get it. I've been there. I understand. But the idea that this would have the same appeal on an annual basis is being a prisoner of the moment. And it shows, in my opinion, an inability to grasp the big picture here. And it smacks of self-interest and not much more than that. Zach's in Fayetteville. Zach, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, fellas.
Hey, Zach.
I agree the time's come to move away from annual games at War Memorial. I understand the infrastructure challenges. You know, I was actually working for State Parks and Central Office when the state took ownership, and I was out there in the parking lot on game day. So I've seen it and experienced it firsthand. But I've got an interesting perspective just beyond that. Like, I spent 2 years at Arkansas State and 5 at U of A, marching in both of their bands. I grew up in Northeast Arkansas with some of my best memories there. But, you know, it's something that the caller was saying earlier. If we're already, it's about 2 segments ago, if we're already playing the likes of Memphis and we're already playing the likes of Tulsa, then why not throw ASU in the mix? And when he was talking about, he couldn't really get his point across. And I think what he was saying, because y'all were questioning it too, he was talking about the benefit to Little Rock. I think he might have been talking about the HMR, the hotel, motel, retail.
Oh, I'm sure that they do benefit from that.
And I think, and so but again, going back to the beginning, I agree that annual games aren't appropriate. But one thing that stood out to me, being that I have a dynamic between the two states, two universities, is when I was out there in the tailgate and even in the stands, it felt more like a family reunion than anything. And so maybe something every 5 years, every 10 years, if we're already playing the likes of a group of five, then why not throw ASU in? Some callers have made good opinions, and the same one Frank Broyles has made since the 90s is that, look, like, why put ourselves subject to that? But also, why let ourselves get in a position to let ourselves be that way? Sometimes iron sharpens iron. So that's just what I wanted to say, but I appreciate your thoughts on that.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Here's kind of where I'm coming from. I don't have a particular problem with playing Arkansas State every year. Although, I will say this. Let's not pretend Arkansas State is on the same level of even with Memphis. They're not. Memphis beat them like a drum. They're not on that same level. It's not to say A-State's not beaten them before, played with them before, but right now they're just not on the same level. Memphis is better, I think. Memphis is going to be a game that's on national real television, not ESPN Plus, hoping the internet doesn't go out. So let's make sure that we're comparing apples to apples from that standpoint. Look, if Arkansas State wants to come to Fayetteville every year, hey, let's do it, man. See, I don't even think Arkansas State wants to play Arkansas every year in Little Rock. I mean, if you're Arkansas State and you're trying to get to a bowl game and you're fighting you're fighting for every nickel you got, you want to go to Little Rock, get beat 56-14 every year? I mean, is that really in your best interest? Nobody's really asked A-State. I mean, if your validation comes just from playing somebody, I mean, if you feel validated as a program just because you get to play the Razorbacks in Little Rock, I don't know what to say, really. But if you are of the mindset that we'd like to win a game, I don't know if Arkansas State would want that. Because it's pretty much like every year, you better go ahead and write L down for that game. You might beat them once every 10 years, but once every 15, 20 years, who knows? But that doesn't mean your program's on the same level. I just think if you played this every year in Little Rock, the shine would wear off very quickly. If Arkansas State wants to come to Fayetteville every year, whatever. They're not going to want to do that. Arkansas is not going to go to Jonesboro and play. I see no scenario. Like, they've got this 3-for-1 with Tulsa going right now. They wouldn't even do a 3-for-1 with Arkansas State.
No, and besides that, I mean, look, Arkansas State, I think you made a great point about what Arkansas State is trying to be and what they're trying to do. And that's a program where you're trying to get to a bowl game every year. And next year, they play at Memphis and at TCU. The year after that, they play Memphis and at Virginia. Then it's at Georgia Tech and at Memphis. Like, they don't have room for another game if they want to be a successful program. If they want to make a bowl game every year, they don't have room for the Razorbacks on their schedule.
Right. And again, I think this is people are engaging in a lot of wishful thinking, and I do in the back of my mind feel like right now that the governor and a lot of people in Little Rock are safe to say we ought to be doing this every year because they know it's not going to happen. 8:45. This is the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Everybody's welcome to their opinion. That's just flat out wrong.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's stunning to hear every 20 minutes a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. But we can help. Grant life-changing wishes with Waiters for Wishes and the Razorback men's basketball team. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Walk-Ons in Fayetteville. This private ticketed event lets you take photos, get autographs, challenge your favorite hog to a Pop-A-Shot, and bid on silent auction items, all benefiting Make-A-Wish Mid-South. Tables are limited and going fast, so reserve yours today at midsouth.wish.org.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Football season's here, and Flight by Yuengling is the light beer built for game days. Tastes like a Yuengling, but it's a light beer, and only 95 calories. Flight raises the bar for what a light beer should be, and now it comes in a 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle and skinny cans. Perfect for tailgates, watch parties, or just kicking back after the game. Pick it up at your favorite store or ask your bartender. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds, make the right call.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Summer storms and heavy rains can sneak up fast, so make sure your gutters are ready to handle it all. Hog Trough Gutters, locally owned and operated with 30 years of experience, installs seamless gutters made on site to protect your home. They're fully licensed and insured. Every job is hydro tested, and each one comes with a 20-year warranty. Proudly serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. Schedule your free inspection today at hoggutters.com.
So I spent yesterday, you don't mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck, unbeknownst to any of us how, got his iPad working to watch the British Open on his own.
I play the role of dumb blonde sometimes, but the reality is I am very skilled when it comes to the iPad.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's one of those mornings where we could go to 10 o'clock. All right, let's head back to the phones. Tom's in Rudy. Tom, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Good morning, Chuck. Hey, I got an opinion here. It kind of varies from what everybody else is saying. But if War Memorial is owned by the state, is it possible for the state to demolish it, rebuild, and play 2 to 3 games a year? Seems like some of our big money is out of Little Rock, and I think they would appreciate having a nice new stadium they could play in and just split the games between the two.
Well, it'd be nice, but I don't know how you're going to pay for it. I don't know how you're going to pay for the stadium down there. I mean, I think if you were to try to propose some kind of tax increase or bond issue statewide to build a stadium in Little Rock, I just think it would fail. I mean, I really do. I could be wrong, but and beyond that, let's say it didn't fail. Somebody's going to have to make up for that loss in revenue. Somebody's going to have to make up for it. Now, from what I understand, I heard some talk about this after the game, about, gathering all the biggest money in Little Rock and, coming up with a pool of cash to make up for that loss. But I think all this is wishful thinking. Jay's in Rogers. Jay, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Jay going once. All right, Jay. How about David and Searcy? David, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. David. What do we got going here?
Apparently not.
Nobody's ready to.
All right, let's try
come
one
on the
more
show,
time. Philip in Bentonville. Philip, you're our last hope. All right.
They all left.
Well,
all right. Well,
we'll try to do we'll try to do better next time. But
well, hold on.
I get where people are coming from. Saturday was a fun day. It was a fun day, and again, sometimes, though, these great moments are meant to just be that, great moments. It was a great day. It doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be able to recreate that day. And I just think that what happened Saturday was it was a great moment in our state's sports history. I mean, it was an historic day. There's no doubt about it. It was really only in our corner of the world, but that's the truth. All right, we got time for one more caller. Edward, what do we got? Where are we going? All right, just throw up line 2. Who we got on the air right now?
This is
Nate. Hey, Nate, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Yes, everybody's talking about wanting to split home games between Fayetteville and Little Rock. The university's in Fayetteville. So all OU fans, if you want to go watch OU play, you go to Norman. If you want to watch Texas A&M play, you go to College Station. The university is in Fayetteville, so why would we play home games anywhere else?
Well, I hear you. There is a reason why they played in Little Rock for many, many, many years, and it was a sound reason. I mean, there were, there was a time. It's hard to believe now, but there was a time when I won't say the bulk of your funding, but a good bit of your funding came from farmers in eastern Arkansas. And the original idea was that, harvest season in the fall, they'd harvest in the morning, come watch the Razorbacks play in Little Rock late in the day, and then be back in time for church the next morning. And it worked for a long, long time. And there were no lights in the stadium in Fayetteville, and so anytime you wanted to play a night game or needed to play a night game, you had to go to Little Rock. And there was a difference in the stadiums. As hard as it is to believe, Little Rock was better. It was a better facility back then when you didn't have the internet, when you didn't have all the things that you have now. Look, it was a fun day, but I just have a hard time believing that 56-14 is going to play year after year after year. You're going to have a hard time convincing me of that. I know this, that by this time next week, at 8:55 next Monday. Arkansas State and War Memorial Stadium will be in the rearview mirror. We'll be talking about Ole Miss. We'll be talking about whether or not this is real or just a mirage. We won't get back to this issue until the middle of the summer. Have a great day. Back tomorrow.
I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always hit the mark, and members enjoy it all. State-of-the-art practice facilities, food, beverages, a big pool with a snack and beverage bar, tennis and pickleball courts, and they can even book you an exclusive fly fishing trip. There's no initiation fee, and for out-of-towners, a membership is only $185 a month. It's Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. It's home away from home.
The Razorback Raffle is back. This raffle is a new and exciting way to support Razorback athletics, whether you're inside Razorback Stadium or calling the Hogs anywhere in the great state of Arkansas. Our inaugural raffle jackpots grew to nearly $500,000 last spring. Now you can be our next big winner, even if you're not in the stadium. Get your raffle ticket purchased to have a chance to win big right now at RazorbackRaffle.com.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the